the son of Prince Albert II of Monaco.
To be a prince from a royal family is one thing, but to be acknowledged as one with the full privilege is another thing entirely. Can you think of yourself walking into the airport and having fingers pointed at you with shushing conversations about your legitimacy? It doesn't feel good, does it? Yet that's the sad, albeit interesting story of Alexander Grimaldi. It must really sting to be referred to as an illegitimate son, but that is the fate of 19-year-old Alexandra. Through no fault that could be attributed to him, he was born outside wedlock, and the consequences have continued to trail him ever since. Now you are itching to ask, how did it happen? Who was his mother, and how did she get involved with a prince she was not married to? In today's video, we'll dig deep into the encounter that birthed Alexandra. Who is Alexander Grimaldi Coste? Alexander was born on the 24th of August, 2003. Due to the circumstances surrounding his birth, he goes by the compound last name Grimaldi Coste. He is the son of Prince Albert II of Monaco and Nicole Coste, a Togolese woman who used to work as a flight attendant. Alexander's early life was unique in many ways. Look at it this way: a child born to a prince is supposed to live in the palace, but that's not the case with Alexander. Even though he was a prince by birth, he did not step foot in a palace until many years later. However, as he continued to grow, especially when the father's identity was uncovered, the public eyes took it upon themselves to monitor his everyday life. As you can always guess, Alexandra's background is a blend of his father's Monegasque royal heritage with his mother's West African roots. Make no mistake though, the fact that his father, Prince Albert, did not know about his birth immediately did not translate to a life of impoverishment for him. Truth is, he has always lived a privileged life, despite his illegitimate status. This is all thanks to his mother's effort, who was committed to giving him a good life that deserved a prince. Why did his father, Prince Albert, not know about the birth of his son? Alexander came to be as a result of an affair between his mother and father. The funny thing is, even though he was born an illegitimate child because his parents were not married, his birth coincided with when Prince Albert was under a lot of pressure, both from the family and the media, to produce legitimate heirs for the royal house. How they met? In 1997, the pair met on a flight where Nicole was working as a flight attendant. In one of such flights, Nicole met Prince Albert, and a spark was ignited almost immediately. One of the criteria for working as a flight attendant was the ability to speak different languages. Since Nicole could speak French and English, plus the fact that she was easy on the eyes, her connection and subsequent relationship with Prince Albert was a no-brainer. The pair soon exchanged information on the flight with a promise to get in touch. Shortly after, a full-blown relationship that continued for several years started. All along, Nicole knew Albert would not marry her, as there was never a talk of marriage at any point in time. Yet she continued with the relationship. Perhaps Nicole had no problem with the arrangement because she knew she was not the only one in a relationship with Prince Albert. The affair continued until the year 2003, when Alexander was conceived and born. While it is unclear if Nicole and Prince Albert kept seeing each other, Nicole decided to keep the pregnancy. Now here is where we ask Nicole if she intentionally wanted to have the child despite knowing the royal family would not accept him. Is it possible that she wanted to be related to the royal house no matter the consequences? We may never know. Relationship with Prince Albert. Although he was born in 2003, Alexander's birth did not make it to the media and tabloids until year 2005. If you are wondering why, it is because that was the year Prince Albert agreed to do the DNA test to rule out any chances of paternity fraud. Not only that, but it was also the year he was to ascend the throne. Looking at it, you could tell that there had been issues between Nicole and Prince Albert about Alexander's paternity. Also, the existence of his son had to be kept under wraps at the time to protect the reputation of the royal family. For the first time, Nicole Coste made the first move to reveal the identity of her son's father during an interview in year 2005. Every news outlet started scrambling for more information. Remember, the person in question was the prince in line for the throne of Monaco. This announcement no doubt put a lot of pressure on Prince Albert to acknowledge his son publicly. Maybe he would have debunked it and waved it aside like he did to others. The constant media intervention gave him no breathing space until he acknowledged Alexandra as his son. However, his acknowledgement of Alexandra as his legal son did not automatically set him on a path to the throne. Perhaps Prince Albert would have preferred for his firstborn son to be the heir to the throne, but the laws of succession do not allow it. The law requires that heirs who will someday ascend the throne must be born in wedlock. So, what would be the fate of the young lad? You can grab some more cookies while you watch. Alexandra's mother, Nicole Coste. While we now know how the relationship between Prince Albert started, it is only right to know the origin of Nicole Coste, Alexandra's mother. Nicole Coste was born in Togo, a West African country. Before she became a public figure as a result of her relationship with Prince Albert, Nicole worked as a flight attendant for Air France. She was born and raised in Togo. She grew up in a modest family where she learned the values of hard work and determination. Nicole started showing an interest in fashion and the arts from a young age. This was later influenced by her career choices. She attended her. After completing her primary education, she moved to France to continue her higher education. While in France, Nicole attended several institutions where she sharpened her communication and public relations skills. You know what they say about how no education is a waste? Nicole's voyage and education in France prepared her for the future she was yet to see. Soon, she landed a job as a flight attendant. This allowed her to travel the world and interact with various people. As you can already tell, it was at this phase of her life she met Prince Albert. At this point, Nicole had been in some relationship before Prince Albert, from whom she had 2 children. During the early years of Alexandra's birth, Nicole was Alexandra's primary caregiver. And guess what? Even though Prince Albert had yet to start supporting her, she took care of his young royal-blooded son and older sons. She provided Alexander with a stable and loving him, while ensuring he had the best of opportunities. In an interview she granted, Nicole described herself as a devoted mother who is deeply involved in every aspect of Alexander's life. She went further to say she always ensured he had the best education as well as great manners. While she may not have said it, it is obvious that she had been trying to groom him for the future. While truly Alexander might not have a shot at the throne, he will not be short of princely qualities. As someone who has a child with the reigning Prince of Monaco, Nicole Coste's public image is mostly shaped by her relationship with her son's father. Since the news of Alexandra's paternity became public knowledge, Nicole has handled the media attention gracefully and with dignity. She has been very careful in managing her public appearances and interviews. Knowing how sensitive her relationship with the child's father is, she has often spoken about the importance of her son's relationship with his father. She never stops there. She praises Prince Albert for taking responsibility as a father. Indeed, Nicole is not an official member of Monaco's royal family. Her involvement in Alexandra's life cannot be trivialized. As a result, she has also had to maintain a peaceful relationship with Prince Albert for the sake of their son. Prince Albert's early life, marriage, and paternity claims. Prince Albert is a true prince of Monaco. Unlike his son Alexander, he was born and raised in the palace. Prince Albert was born on the 14th of March 1958 in Monaco. Prince Albert had been named heir apparent to the throne since his birth. Besides his Irish, German, and Monegasque ancestry, Albert had dual citizenship in Monaco and the United States. At the moment, though, he no longer has citizenship in the United States, as he had renounced when he realized his sense of royalty. Prince Albert was baptized on the 20th of April 1958 in the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception of Monaco. Prince Albert is also a lover of sport. He competed in bobsleigh during the Winter Olympic Finals before he retired in the year 2002. Since he ascended the throne, he has been quite outspoken in environmentalism and an advocate of ocean conservation. He founded his foundation in 2006, which he named Prince Albert II of Monaco Foundation. This foundation has helped him raise funds and initiative action for such causes and greater ecological preservation. Prince Albert is a rich prince with lots of assets. This is all thanks to his status as a prince and his chains of businesses. As of 2010, he was worth $1 billion. So, who is the queen in his palace? In July 2011, Prince Albert married a South African named Charlene Whitstock. She was a former Olympic swimmer. Remember, Prince Albert used to be into sports. He had met Charlene during his active days and were just platonic friends until somebody arranged their marriage. Their wedding was celebrated all over Monaco for more than 2 days. The marriage was meant to seal his place as the head of the Grimaldi family. Before the marriage in 2011, Charlene had spent some years in Monaco getting used to the princess role. But who would have thought that a soon-to-be princess would try to abscond? Could it be that she was forced to marry Prince Albert? Or wait, could she have suddenly been repulsed at the number of children his fiancé had outside wedlock? Well, the answers never made it to the public. Princess Charlene's reaction. Hold on a minute. What would you do if you learned that your soon-to-be husband had an illegitimate kid outside of his wedding? Don't answer yet because that's not all. He did not just have 1, but 2, and several other unclaimed children. Now the floor is yours. What would you do? Let's look at what Charlene did. Before her marriage to Prince Albert, Princess Charlene had been informed about Albert's 2 illegitimate children, Alexander Grimaldi Coste and Jasmine Grace Grimaldi. Prince Albert publicly acknowledged the 2 children before he married Charlene. While the public saw the prince's admission of his paternity as a bold and responsible move, it also created monumental emotional challenges for Charlene as she entered into the marriage. Perhaps this would explain why she attempted to run away days before her wedding. It would also shed more light on why she was teary-eyed on her wedding day. No doubt anyone who comes into such knowledge would be troubled, and Princess Charlene was no exception. Her reaction to learning about Prince Albert's children was a sad blend of shock and discomfort. While she accepted the situation because escaping turned out to be impossible, it created strain in the early days of their relationship. Many photos that have made it to the internet have shown how unhappy the princess is in her marriage. Some have even said if depression had a face, it would no doubt be Charlene's face. There is one fascinating thing, though. It is believed that Prince Albert pays Charlene, his wife, $12 million every year. Now, we don't know if that's just an allowance she rightly deserves or compensation for the emotional turmoil she goes through all the time. You might want to ask why the emotional problem is. Imagine having the news of your husband's paternity scandals on the internet. In January 1989, a German model and former adult film actress named Bea Fiedler filed a lawsuit against Prince Albert. He claimed that her son Daniel was the prince's child. She went further to describe the details of their relationship. Bea said her son was the product of their meeting that happened in October 1986. 4 years ago, precisely in December 2020, a Brazilian woman filed a paternity suit against Prince Albert. She claimed the prince was in a relationship with him while married to Charlene. The lawsuit was later described as a ruse. When asked why he accepted some of the illegitimate children as his and declined others, Prince Albert said if he accepted every child as his, he would soon break the record as the prince with the most children. Did you hear that? Could he truly be the father of the children whose cases were thrown out of court? Truly, there is more to his matter than meets the eye. The prince was known for his playboy image long before his marriage to Princess Charlene. Many of his romantic entanglements have made headlines around the world. Albert's relationships were often publicized in the newspaper as one of the public figures who struggled with long-term commitment. After his marriage to Charlene, rumors of Prince Albert's infidelity stopped, but there were claims that Albert had fathered additional children outside of his acknowledged illegitimate offspring. Do you still wonder why Princess Charlene is always forlorn and gloomy? Anyway, enough of Princess Charlene. How close is Alexander to his father? Over the years, Alexander has lived a relatively private life. However, he has been captured with his father in public. If you don't know, these appearances indicate his growing prominence within certain circles. As Alexander matures, he has been seen at high-profile events, such as the Monaco National Day celebrations and other royal family gatherings. One particularly notable appearance was in 2021. Alexander attended Monaco's National Day celebrations with his father. The event is one of the most significant in the Monegasque royal calendar. To many, it's a rite of passage to be known as the son of the reigning prince. Besides the National Day celebrations, Alexandra has also been spotted at private family functions and more exclusive gatherings, where he hangs out with Europe's elite. Life today at 19. Now that we know the inception of Alexandra, what is he up to today? Especially since he has no claim to the throne. Does he have a personal interest? Is he close to the rest of his siblings? At 19 years old, Alexander Grimaldi Coste has matured into a young man who is forging his unique path despite the uniqueness of his birth. While much of his life has been kept relatively low-key compared to his half-siblings, Alexandra's future will always be a topic of great interest. At the moment, he is currently focused on the education he needs to function as a royal-born. Ever since his father claimed him, he has only attended the best of schools because of the wealth of his background. He is currently enrolled in an elite European university, studying courses that would prepare him for a future in diplomacy, international relations, and business. These courses will ensure he is adequately prepared for his future in the Monaco Palace and around the world. In addition to his academic pursuits, Alexandra has shown considerable interest in various hobbies, including sports, fashion, and philanthropy. This is not unexpected in any way. Having been raised in a pleasant yet reserved environment, he has been exposed to Monaco's high society and the sensitive nature of his family's public image. Although he has yet to announce any specific career ambitions, his upbringing and education indicate that he is being prepared for a sophisticated and influential role in the world. On more than one occasion, he has been seen posing for photos wearing some of the most recognized fashion brands in the world. Some of the top brands he has represented include Balenciaga, Dior, Givenchy, etc. From the look of things, Alexander might go on to become an international fashion brand consultant, in addition to being a Monaco diplomat. People have also been curious as to the kind of relationship he has with his half-siblings. Alexandra said he is pretty cool with his siblings from his father. He said he has a social media group where he keeps in constant touch with his other siblings. With a twinkle in his eyes, he explained how they make banters and camaraderie over football players like Erling Haaland and Kylian Mbappe. Even at 19, his mother Nicole is still very much a part of his life. Nicole Coste never misses a chance to show that Alexandra and his father are close. For example, anytime Alexandra takes a photo with his father, Nicole will always post it on her social media pages. Although not in an official capacity, Nicole has also been seen in some national events with Prince Albert. This move has left people wondering if the two are planning to get back together, but no one knows anything for sure. Another possible reason for this could be Princess Charlene's unavailability, who has reportedly been absent on some important occasions. When asked what he feels like being referred to as the illegitimate son of Monaco's prince, Alexandra was sincere about his feelings. He said it never feels good to be referred to as illegitimate. However, he went on to clarify that he was a product of a love affair between his mother and father. Also, his father claimed him without the interference of any judge when he was just about 2 years old. Do you think the law of Monaco should be revised to allow Alexander to become heir to the throne, since he is the first son of Prince Albert? Or do you think being an heir apparent to the throne is overrated? Let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoy this video, do well to like, share, and subscribe to this channel.